Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters. Never care for what they do. Never care for what they know. But I know so close, no matter how far. It couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never care for what they do. Never care for what they know. But I know I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view.
I can remember when there was slavery time.
What you want and what you will, working for your dollar bill. Sad to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. Walking home a youth gets killed. Police busting where to, because the system gives us jobs, even though it's just a low paying gig. Some of us will boast and brag, and those of us who think we're smart, just because we don't have much. It's really not the case at all. It's riches that the flesh can't touch. Some of us won't respect names, some of us won't respect laws, some of us don't respect life, even though we worship God. And some of us won't let go faith, no matter what the price may cost. It's grinding slow, grinding still. Walking home, a child gets killed. Neighbors free to shoot at will. Hurts to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. 9 to 5, we know the drill. Weekend such a short-lived thrill. Sad to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. Cup run it over till it spill. Take until they've had their fill. Sad to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding. Most of us think we're too good, just because material gain. If we were living as we should, then less of us would be in pain. And those who are misunderstood, they still deserve a voice to claim the things that are still meaningful to each and all of us the same. And some will say the cups are full and give Jah thanks for what we've gained. And some will say there's much more weight to pull, and then we'll tell you that straight up and plain. And some will think outside the box, while some of us will hold our lanes. And some of us rewrite the facts, while some of us are chopped down cane. Oh, what men want and what they will, working for a dollar bill. Sad to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. Walking home, a child gets killed. Police free to shoot at will. Hurts to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. 9 to 5, you know the drill. Weekends are a short-lived thrill. Sad to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. Cup run it over till it spill. Take until they've had their fill. Sad to see the old slave mill is grinding slow but grinding still. It's grinding slow but grinding still. It's grinding slow but grinding still. Grinding slow but grinding still. It's 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 grinding slow but grinding still.
I can remember when there was slavery time. I can remember when there was slavery time. I can remember when there was slavery time.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks, and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
The champ is here! 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 The champ. Good morning and welcome to Bulls Talk Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing today, are we holding on to gold or are we letting it go? It actually is very sad, but some shots were fired yesterday on the gold price. It received actually a beating yesterday. The price of gold was at about 2029. It actually dropped to 1900. This morning it actually went further down. It broke actually the 1900 level and it went to about to the 1800 level. Excuse me. And then there's like a sharp reversal in gold that is currently happening, where it just actually retraces back. The last time I checked, it was on 1930, where it just actually flew back to actually not to its former glory though, but it looks like it actually got some resistance back. Well, we could have expected that yesterday. With the gold price, I thought it would happen yesterday where you get some sort of resistance or reversal in the gold price, but that was not the case yesterday. It was just flying down. As I said yesterday, I don't think the 2000 mark would keep it up. I think it would go further down, and which it did. It went to the 1900s, and I think it's clearly on its way to the 1700s. Well, even though with the reversal now, but you have to be realistic here that there's a lot of news that comes through also this week from the United States side that will also affect the gold price. But you have to ask yourself now the question: if you bought gold at about 2070, where it actually were turning around of 20, I think the highs what it reached was 2075. If you bought gold there, and then you still holding on, I think the best bet for you now is actually to get the hell out now. I mean, it got some retracement, but I'm sure this morning traders would have panicked when it broke actually the 1900 handle, and it looks like it will just continue to go down. But honestly speaking, as I know gold, once there's a sell-off, there's a sell-off. And once there's a buying opportunity, there will be a buying opportunity. But this movement in gold was last seen, as I can remember, in 2013. 2013, when the gold price just collapsed. I think it was around March or something. That's normal a trend in the commodity prices, where it normally goes up from December until March, and then in March it's starting to decline. That's a normal trend that happens basically every year, and 2013 was one of those ones when that was now the case when the global markets start to understand that the central banks, or I would say the Federal Reserve Bank, did not create inflation, even though they actually printed quite vast amount of money to get actually the momentum going, but the economy recovery going. But on the other side, it did not work. So the market was feeling, hey, let I rather move back into dollars, and they start to sell off gold, and it actually went. Excuse me. It went actually sharply down. The gold price in 2013, and that is actually was a reminder for me yesterday that it was actually the same as the gold price at that time. So honestly, I think personally that the gold price will go further down. It's just a very decent retracement that it is actually experiencing now. But honestly speaking, I think gold will still go further down. But that is now up to you. If you bought gold at about 2029 and think gold will go further up. Yeah. You need now to be serious with yourself and ask yourself, will this thing really work? Or will you actually go with this one?
I'll keep holding on, holding on.
It's actually my favorite song from Simply Red. Keep holding on. So you just have to hold on to dear life there, because honestly speaking, I don't think gold will actually recover. My best option for you is actually to get the hell out. It is actually a reminder of the Bitcoin story, where it was reaching, I think it was reaching 20,000 mark, and everybody was on the TV was saying Bitcoin will go to 50,000. All this rubbish predictions that was made there. And then the thing was just turning around and it never actually went back. Now that sharp move of gold yesterday, it's a clear indication that the sellers are actually in the driving seat there. And they want that gold price actually lower. And it actually moved very sharp. Now, there's one person that I'm sure you guys are familiar with him. I think his name is Adam Schiff or something like that. He's actually a gold bug. He actually believed that the gold price will go to about 5,000. No. It will go to 15,000 in 2025. Then we will see the gold price at 15,000. That guy can just talk a whole bunch of shit. But he believes that the gold price will actually go up. And I'm sure he is actually the one that holding on to gold now for dear life, and surely sing the song of Simply Red now. But he is absolutely crazy that to see gold price at about what he was saying, it will be at about 6,000 by the end of this year or next year. Next year, February, it will be at 6,000, and then it will go on to 15,000. Now, that guy is just nuts. I mean, there is absolutely no inflation that is currently happening. And with all the stimulus from the federal government and from the Reserve Bank, besides that, then you have the ECB that pumping money, the British state, everybody's pumping money into the system, but still there's no inflation, nothing, absolutely nothing. And one thing that I did say, if that deal will not go through on Friday, then you will see gold down. And that is exactly what happened when that 2 trillion stimulus or 3 trillion stimulus of the Federal Reserve did not go through. That was the clear kill for gold to go down. Now, I don't know for how long will you guys keep it up, but I will just take a short break, but I will also play you a bit of something to keep you alive by trading gold. So I'll just take a short break, and then I'll be back with you. Some more information regarding the gold price, and also something that is brewing actually in Asia. Something really serious that is actually brewing in Asia. I'll just take a short break, and then I'll be back with you.
I'll keep holding on, holding on.
Why buy gold? Gold has been used as a currency hedge for decades. With the current fluctuations in the market, who knows what tomorrow will bring? Gold is a means to be able to store value today for your future tomorrow. Visit us at thinkgold.co.za to find out how you can invest in gold and buy your own gold or silver.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks, and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
Good morning and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually, are you holding gold or are you letting it go? Now, as I said before I go to the break, excuse me, there will be some news that will come through this week from the United States, which will be of absolute important. One is the inflation news that will come out this week. I think it's today or tomorrow, one of those 2 days. And then we have on Friday we will have the retail sales of the United States that is actually being also being broadcast on Friday. Now, the forecast for inflation and also for the retail sales, but the one that I always like to look at is actually the retail sales. Now, the retail sales actually, I think it was 2 months ago, it hit record levels of about 18% of retail sales where people are spending actually quite aggressively. And at that time, the inflation were not actually something of a problem. Now, since then, the retail sales actually been coming down quite strongly, and now we're sitting with a retail sales now that the forecast show about 1 or 2% that retail sales will go up. Now, it's a steady decline from 18%. I think it was about 11% last month, and I think it's now sitting at 1 or 2%. So it's actually the conditions in the United States is actually normalizing. Now, if the retail sales at 18% were not something of a threat of about 2 or 3% inflation, now how the hell will retail sales that are now at 1 or 2% will be actually a threat to inflation? And I think that is where the big boost from big sell-off in gold is coming from, because it just doesn't make sense why you have to now stress about inflation if people are not spending. What you must always remember is that spending increases the capacity of inflation. So the more people spend, the more the prices of goods and services will increase. That you must never forget when you look at inflation. And especially, you have to look at inflation in a point of view in the United States, because that is the biggest factor. Because obviously gold is trading against the US dollar. So obviously any news that comes in from the United States, especially when you look at gold, you have to track the inflation of the United States, but before you can track that, you have to look actually at the retail sales. Now, also important, the one that actually were driving spending in the United States was basically the central banks. So the central banks were pushing large amount of credit through. So obviously excess credit means that or a high demand for credit increase spending, and then spending increase actually inflation. So you must not forget the chain reaction. But very importantly, before you can get credit, you have to have a job also. So you will not get a loan if you are unemployed. I mean, it just makes sense. I don't think someone who doesn't have a job will even apply for a loan, because you will get rejected immediately. So that makes sense. So you have to have a job before you can get credit. Then you have excess money, so you buy, and then after that creates inflation. So the more you buy, the more inflation you create. Now the story has changed. You have less. You have actually high unemployment in the United States, which is based on depression levels. So you have high unemployment there, and then obviously the people can't get loans. Obviously, it's just the rich and famous that will get loans, and that also will decrease actually the amount of spending that goes on the ground, and that leads to less inflation. So that's why the gold is actually going down. Now, as I said last week, if that stimulus package doesn't go through of 3 trillion, then you can expect gold to go down with the equities. What is surprised to me is that the equities are actually going up, especially your industrial stocks that are going up. I saw the Dow Jones was hitting, I think it was 28,000. I think it was close to 28,000, or it's over 28,000. I think it was 29,000 or something. It's actually moving in that range where the industrial stocks are going up. I'm actually surprised in that. Where the oil price are also holding up there at about $40 a barrel. I expected all commodities to go down, including gold, and also your industrial stocks to go down. So you have to actually have one eye open on those commodities, because without that. Without a stimulus package of the United States, I don't think the industrial stocks will last that long. And I'm definitely sure that that the gold price will extend its losses, and that the industrial stocks will actually go down. My best option for you, if you have a trade open now with gold, and you were buying gold at about 2,000 or something, and you still have that trade open, my best option for you is to let it go.
I'll keep holding on, holding on.
That is my best option. Don't actually now hold on to gold. The best thing is to let it go, because your losses will just increase. There's no way in hell that gold will go up. It will actually go further down when that inflation data is coming out. So honestly speaking, I don't think obviously gold will go up. As the inflation data will go up. I think the market prepared itself for that data for not going up, and then more shots will get fired. Definitely, more shots will get fired, and you need to get the help. The best option now is to cut your losses and to take the beating and to just let it go. I think that news will be out today or tomorrow, of the inflation news out of the United States. Excuse me. And then we will know that inflation go up or down. But because of the retail sales forecast that shows actually a bit of a slowing in the retail sales spending, I doubt actually that we will see. I doubt we will see inflation actually going up. So I personally think that gold will go down to the 1700s. That is what I expecting, or I do expect a bit of a retracement. That I understand. That is perfectly normal for a retracement to happen. I thought it would happen yesterday, but that is perfectly normal. But there's one thing for those guys who likes to trade with the riskier assets or the riskier currencies, is actually the Turkish lira. There's something really brewing there with the Turkish lira. I know that the prime minister or the president of Turkey has been doing very, very crazy things the last few years, where the deficit is actually increasing. Fire the central bank manager and replace the central bank governor. I think it was his cousin or something that he replaced the governor with. And then since then, the Turkish lira was just diving. And now it's actually in free fall for the last few weeks or months because of the pandemic. because this guy thought that nothing was going to happen and he's going to print some money and push the Turkish lira up to create spending and try to rejuvenate the economy. But things are really not well. If you actually are trading with the Turkish lira, I personally think this is the end for Turkey. Unless they don't remove the president there. Unless they don't remove the president, I think personally it is the end for the Turkish lira. What is currently going on in Turkey is actually the same thing that is happening in South Africa. South Africans are also screaming to nationalize the Reserve Bank of South Africa. And that is exactly what happened in Turkey, where the bank is actually nationalized, and now they went on a spending spree, and now the money is done, and the deficit is still there, and now they don't know what the hell to do. And inflation is creeping up, the Turkish lira is losing value, and these guys on top of that use their foreign reserves. And now what makes it even worse is that there's no foreign money that's coming into Turkey because of the economies that are under lockdown. So there's no tourism that goes there where the people need to exchange their cash for the Turkish lira. So now they're in big trouble because their currencies, the reserves are depleted or is getting depleted very quickly because what the central bank is doing. This is not evidence that I'm saying, but I know now that is what they are doing, because all central banks across the world that is in this trouble is actually a textbook problem. I will not say a textbook problem, but this problem is a textbook story. Where central banks see that the currency is going down, and then they use the reserves to buy the currency to try and lift the currency up. That is what happens in China. That is what happens in Turkey. It happens in Venezuela, Zimbabwe, all of them. So it is a very common error that central banks and governments are doing. I would actually say not central bankers, politicians. Politicians are doing it, because a central banker would never do that. Never will they use his reserves to buy their own currency, because they know it will not work. So what happens in Turkey is actually we are on that way of South Africa. If South Africans are not waking up, because I can see actually now that the public protector came out and said that the banks of South Africa are against black people, with not a shred of evidence that she put out. I was trying to read the article to find out something, or maybe there is actually evidence what she has on the table. But she was talking about the governor is untouchable, the banks are untouchable, Reserve Bank is the golden goose in the country, blah, blah, blah. All nonsense. There's no evidence whatsoever of where she actually said that, listen here, this is the evidence that I can prove to you that the banks are basically discriminating against black people. Nothing. South Africa, I must say Turkey and South Africa are actually in the same boat. Both are emerging economies. Both are facing the same problems of a high deficit. And South Africans are screaming for the nationalization of the Reserve Bank of South Africa, which already is the story in Turkey. And look where Turkey are today. I'm still looking at some more evidence in Turkey. Basically, my theory that I actually just pointed out, I just wanted to see if it's true. But I can tell you now, I'm actually 90% sure that is the mistakes that the Central Bank of Turkey is doing. I will not say the Central Bank. I would say actually the politicians of Turkey, the useless bastards. That is what they always do. They deplete everything. Everything they deplete. And then they want to blame. I'm sure they're going to blame now the United States or Europe or something. They're going to blame. They're not going to blame their own stupidity regarding where Turkey is today. It was a great country. It was really on the path of joining the EU. It was on the verge of literally joining the EU. And then that moron of a prime minister came into effect and just mess up everything. But if you're trading with the Turkish lira, I would say definitely that is a sell all over it, because that economy is on its way down, because they are lifting interest rates up and down and all of those things. And those are all part of the money supply problems in the country when they're behaving like that. There's no politician that I can tell you now, politicians and economics are like oil and water. They just don't want to hear the facts. Nothing. They don't want to hear. It's always an emotional rubbish story that they always invent in their head to try and not do what is necessary that they need to do. It's always the case. Yeah. But honestly, for us, if you trade with the Turkish lira, I would say sell that currency straight up. Because honestly speaking, I see absolutely no hope for the Turkish lira. And I can guarantee you, South Africa is on its way to that, as the same scenario as Turkey, on its way. The moment they're going to nationalize the Reserve Bank, we are done. Done. Finished. I will just take a short break and then I'll be coming back with a story that I'm actually been following now for the few weeks. And that is actually the tensions in Asia, especially when you look at the Philippines, if you look at Taiwan, if you look at China, Japan, even Vietnam. There's some serious tensions that are going there. The countries are building actually islands, basically islands for their military equipment to fight back. It's really a serious story in Asia, and it looks like we are gonna see a war among those Asian countries. I will just take a short break and then I'll be back with you.
I'll keep holding on, holding on.
Why buy gold? Gold has been used as a currency hedge for decades. With the current fluctuations in the market, who knows what tomorrow will bring? Gold is a means to be able to store value today for your future tomorrow. Visit us at thinkgold.co.za to find out how you can invest in gold and buy your own gold or silver.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks, and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a forex trader or an entrepreneur, or just want to make a minimum of 3,000 rands every week? If yes is your answer, we present to you Private Wealth Robot, Africa's #1 forex trading robot with 99.9% success rate. All you need is a computer and internet access. Plug the robot and let it download dollars for you. All this is just for 7,500 rands. To get your copy today, contact us at +27 81 04 37378 or visit our website at www.privatewealthrobot.com. Build well or die trying.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider. Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
The champ is here! 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 The champ.
Welcome back to Bull Markets Talk Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually Are You Holding Gold or Let It Go? Now the best thing is to let it go. Take your losses and run. Stop crying about it. It's a decent mistake that you make. I've been warning you on the show that I said that gold is in a bubble, and it is in a bubble, but it's also a sharp reversal, so you have time actually to go up unless I didn't check the news now, but unless something is happening in Asia. Now, President Abe, which is the Prime Minister of Japan, was making some serious comments yesterday by saying that if China do anything wrong by bullying its neighbors, then there will be blood. That was the words from Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan. Now, where does this nonsense come in? Now, for those of you who knows the history of Japan and China, we would all know now that there were wars before between the two nations, China and Japan. It's been going on in the 19 and the 1800s. There was wars between the two countries, and it looks like the old foes are actually at his throats again. Now, this time is slightly a bit different. That time, China was absolutely weak under a brutal communist regime, which was also Chinese the Mao era, where under World War II or just after World War II, where actually the Communist Party took control over China, and then Japan also invaded China, and also China were actually defeated. Now the story is now slightly different, where China is now a superpower and actually the second largest economy in the world. So it is two big giants that are actually now in locker hands. Now there was supposed to be a meeting between the two statesmen, which is now President Abe and President Xi Jinping. That was now before the coronavirus, but it was cancelled due to the coronavirus, and there would be now another meeting between the two, and which Shinzo Abe did not actually reply to the meeting or when this meeting will take place. Now, the story is really getting some tensions because there are fights of the South Asia Sea. That is where the problem is. Apparently, there is actually a whole bunch of islands there that are actually on the strip. Now, it is actually very valuable to the Asian region. According to what I could figure out, now the mainstream media is not covering this as it should be, because that part is supposed to get our attention. I'm very sure that at some point we will get a war there. And it looks very, very, very possible, and the tensions are really high. Besides the countries like the Philippines, the Vietnam, Malaysia, Japan, and China that are at loggerheads. Now, all of these countries which I mentioned now, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, Japan, are all together to fight communist China because of this South Asia Strip. Now, you must actually follow the story because it is really getting a bit out of hand. Now, this South Asia Sea, with all of its islands, has about 11 billion barrels of oil. There's approximately about, I don't know how many, but metric tons of gas. It runs in the trillions that are actually there. And then 10% of the world's fishing is actually taking place there. Now, this tensions has been going on for a very long time. And that is where the UN and international law was kicking in to separate these countries against each other, to stop war and conflict. Now, according to the international law, which goes under the exclusive economic zones, or the EEZ, which stands for the exclusive economic zones, that you are only allowed from your country's border, and if you move into the sea, then you have about 200 miles away. That is actually your territory. So you can actually, whatever you find there, it's yours because that is under your zone. Now, you know now the Asian countries are very actually congested in this strip of the South Asia Sea. So countries are actually now wants to take some parts of the other part, and this one wants to take from that one. That is what actually happening. But other countries are actually complying with international law, which is now Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, but China not. China actually said that they are in control of that South Asian Sea. It is theirs. They actually said 90% of that belongs to them. And they will fight until the end for that resources there. They said they are calling the shots. Now, this authoritarian behavior of China is not something unfamiliar because that is the same story in Hong Kong also. These guys are just creating havoc in that South Asia Strip. Now, according to China, they said it belongs to them. Now, China is actually on the verge to take full control out of that on that region. The thing is now, China went to the extent to build islands for themselves on that South Asia Sea. So that in 2000, according to reports, they said in 2000, since 2012, 2014, but say in 2014, there was absolutely nothing there. Nothing. No island. There were islands, but not this man-made islands that the Chinese are now creating. Now, since 2014 until now, there is actually being man-made islands there in the strip, which are in control of the Chinese. Now, the Chinese is actually beefing it up with actually some heavy artillery to try and bully the neighbors, which is now Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and also Japan. They've been actually building, I think according to reports, there is about 5 of these man-made islands that were built by the Chinese. And these guys and the Chinese are actually pumping these islands by building actually military bases, which is actually quite smart. That you must respect the Chinese for. And it actually costs quite a lot of work to actually build these islands there. Now they actually putting the heavy carriers, the aircrafts there, the big ships that is there. They actually putting it on these islands to defend their territory, because according to the Chinese, it belongs to them. Now, there is also these restriction zones in the air. If you fly over these islands that the Chinese are creating, the Chinese is actually sending a signal out to say you are breaching now you are actually breaching Chinese territory. And this story is not sitting well with Japan and also the mighty Americans. I will just take a short break and then I'll be back with you with some more information regarding the story, which is actually a heavy story because shots can get fired at any given time.
Why buy gold? Gold has been used as a currency hedge for decades. With the current fluctuations in the market, who knows what tomorrow will bring? Gold is a means to be able to store value today for your future tomorrow. Visit us at thinkgold.co.za to find out how you can invest in gold and buy your own gold or silver.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a forex trader or an entrepreneur, or just want to make a minimum of 3,000 rands every week? If yes is your answer, we present to you Private Wealth Robot, Africa's #1 forex trading robot with 99.9% success rate. All you need is a computer and internet access. Plug the robot and let it download dollars for you. All this is just for 7,500 rands. To get your copy today, contact us at +27 81 04 37378 or visit our website at www.privatewealthrobot.com. Build wealth or die trying.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
Good morning and welcome to the last part of the show. We are actually doing the last part, which is now the Asian that we're doing. But please, just a reminder on the gold story, the best thing is to cut the losses unless there is some shot fired actually at the Asian strip, which is actually the tensions are very high there between the Japanese, the Chinese, the Malaysians, and it just they're fighting over territory. But also now the big problem is the United States that are also getting involved there, because the United States are actually doing normally drills with the Japanese, but which is a normal thing, where you do drills with the Japanese or the Chinese or the Philippines or all of those things to actually do some tactics together. Now the US is actually flying its actually heavy carriers over these islands that Chinese are actually creating. Now there was a report from the BBC actually where one of the journalists was sitting in these American planes, and it was actually where the Chinese Chinese were actually saying over radio that you are flying over now reserve territory, which is actually which is coming from China, actually saying that it's a stern warning that they must leave, otherwise it will actually get shot down. Now that is actually some serious threat, but the US is still flying over. They basically don't care because there's nothing wrong with it according to international law, that they can fly over it, because these guys are just building islands out of nowhere in the strip. But everything is regarding the mineral wealth of the 11 billion barrels of oil that is there, the trillions of gas, metric tons of gas that are there, the fishing, and also, very importantly, 30% of the world's trade flow actually through that South Asian seas. Now, obviously, with the booming economies that is from China, Japan, and also the Philippines, Vietnam, obviously you can just imagine the amount of cargo that needs to get transported through that actually South Asian strip. And that's why everybody wants to control actually the strip. And as the Chinese were saying, they own 90% of the strip based on some historical data that they actually took out. Now, based on that, with the Chinese is actually now enforcing its dominance by building all these military bases there. They want to control that, and if anything goes wrong, they will fire. So I'm just actually putting that out. I'm actually following the story actually quite intensively, because China is literally bullying all its neighbors, even when it comes to India as well. It's actually a massive problem, and at some point the world will actually, or the Asian countries will actually go against China, which include also the United States. So you guys need to be alert on that story, because if one shot will get fired, then definitely all hell will break loose. So that is it from my side. On the other side of gold, I think the best option is cut your losses unless there's no bullets being fired in Asia. So that is it from my side. Have a lovely day, and I hope you guys have an excellent day of trading. And please, if you open up a trade with gold, the best thing is to let it go. Bye-bye.